Aquarius, let's look at your April forecast now using the tarot. Before we get there, I wanted to draw your attention to the first cards that came out. The Hanged Man, strung up and bound by their foot, and the Eight of Swords, also tied and restricted. This is the energy for late March going into April. I just wanted to look into this before we get going. It does seem like there has been some suspension for you after like more of a significant turnaround of events, and things have been maybe more intense, and you're feeling not fully free or liberated from the past yet. This would also come up as your hesitation, limitations, and lack of action around something that's coming through from your past. If you have children, this could be in relationship to that, but it seems like you're looking to forgive yourself or forgive somebody from the past even, and you're still kind of held back on this, or like kind of on a pause on this really. So there's sort of like a refusal for you to surrender full control recently, and somebody wants you to make a sacrifice, Aquarius. Somebody has been expecting you to make sacrifices. This might be children if you have them, or of course this could just look like family members, siblings, relatives, neighbors, even people from your past, your community are expecting a lot of you, have high expectations of you, and you're almost like, I guess, limited by other people putting you on this pedestal as such, expecting so much from you, and mentally recently you just may not have had that much to give. The Hanged Man tells me that there is some sort of a transition happening in your life right now, and it's in March. It was harder to even see that in late March. It was harder to see the kind of light at the end of the tunnel. It is brightening up as we get into this reading, but this would tell me, Aquarius, that you have been pausing on something and undecided about how to approach something from the past, even deal with people from your past. There's almost like a sense of wanting to control people, or you feeling like you're being controlled by people. I do have some sort of a tightening, a restriction, a bind, something tied up. So you may feel limited or restricted by something, but we'll clear up these cards. In the month of April, you're really persevering and motivated towards your goals, and you're feeling incredibly inspired. So if you are creating something, waiting for something to really take off, something like a project, a passion project, your ideas are just on point in April, and you're very much like in this sort of fighting spirit. However, it does again bring up this element of control. How much do you actually really need to control the situation, Aquarius? And sometimes is the path of least resistance really kind of like the most freeing for you creatively, even just like with your time, and you just kind of are learning, I think, to do shorter bursts. You have like more short bursts of energy at the moment. We have had a building Mars-Saturn conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. Now, Mars and Saturn would be known as the malefic planets. Let's call them the bad guys. They're together in Aquarius in April. So on April 4th, they made this conjunction. This could just feel like frustration, Aquarius, for you if it's coming up near your sun or anything like that, where there's like urgency with Mars to push and keep going and like keep it up and get a lot done and be hyper busy and hyperactive and really like accomplishing a lot. But then with Saturn, that's when you get the limitation and the block and the pause. That's sort of frustrating when there's a lot to be done, limiting, and then there's like external blocks in your way, or else not even external blocks in your way. It could be self-limiting beliefs or just like a lack of motivation, but there's still this time crunch for you to get a lot done. The King of Cups, but it's about control and surrender. It seems like you're willing to persevere and fight for what it is you want and inspire others and lead others. But the King of Cups is coming through to say that there may be a different way to do this, and there could be a different way for you to get your message across, leading from the heart, or kind of allowing things to happen with less control over the situation. You seem to have exciting plans at the end of the month. The Three of Wands and the Sun card in reverse. This of course could look like vacation, holidays, an excursion, or an adventure. For whatever reason though, these plans are pretty much in place right now. At least by the end of the month, you can see where this is all going, and it's exciting and it's adventurous, and you really think that this will be very fun. And the Sun card is a blessing. However, when it reverses, it tells me you're not quite sure about how this is going to turn out, and it's like you almost have some sort of a pessimistic outlook on this, like it's not going to be as good as you think or something like that, or you were hoping it was going to be better, and now as the plans unfold, you're like, I'm not really as interested in it anymore. But something about what you're planning to do by the end of the month, expand, grow, it's almost like a sure thing on some level, but you still, I think, have to keep it quiet or secret. The High Priestess and the Sun card in reverse. There's like, you don't want to rub it in maybe, or you're just not like 100% sure. Even if you may be like 95% sure, you're just not taking the risk on telling people about all of your growth and your plans. And even if it's travel, you're not really down to talk about it yet. The High Priestess is saying you're keeping a lot to yourself by the end of the month, but at the same time, you have a lot that you could be talking about. So it definitely seems like that is a conscious choice made by you to be a bit more private. However, maybe you're just waiting for everything to unfold behind the scenes before you sort of showcase that out into the world. Let's have a look at these row by row. So looking at the Hanged Man, the Eight of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Let's see what that's been about. I'll look at the Hanged Man and the Eight of Swords together. They're giving me a similar energy, and then also bringing in a card for the Six of Cups. I've got the Star card. Lovely energy, and the Seven of Cups with the Six of Cups. Okay, let's have a look at the Star card. So this has been a significant period of transition or change, and that could have gone back to March or February even. And in late March going into the month of April, you've figured that you had a hold on it. You figured that you got the message, you got the kind of reading, or you got the kind of you got the memo on what it was you were trying to learn. And, you feel so much more optimistic going into April by the looks of this. Even though, if not slightly restricted, you're kind of tending to parts of your life that have been missed recently, I think. And you're kind of trying to bring about some balance into some of the areas of your life that could not be focused on, quite simply because you were going through such a transition period. Now you're kind of healing, and you're healing the issue, you're understanding it, you're getting more perspective. Aquarius, this is your major arcana card, the Star card. So you've been feeling yourself and embodying optimism, embodying this kind of like going even further, that you could really like never get back into that place that you were in again. The Eight of Swords, that's really what you're healing through. The negative talk, the pessimism, the lack of belief in yourself, and kind of like putting yourself in a situation, or staying in a situation, honestly, that you have outgrown and you're ready to break free from. But there's a fear of that because of maybe the connection to the past, the history, the nostalgia, the memories, the connection truly. Like, this is not something to be just diminished because this was an important person, or it is an important person. Some of you are confused about this relationship, the Six and Seven of Cups. It's almost like you think that this person from the past can kind of just come in and out as they please, in a sense, the Seven of Cups. Or it's like that person that, only kind of contacts you when they need you, and you feel duty bound or tied to help in some sense, but it doesn't make you comfortable. I think it makes you feel a little resentful, or even like just restricted by this duty to do it. Meanwhile, you have been working on your own stuff, and that person or this group of people know that too, and they can probably see how much you're overcoming and the optimism around you, that I guess they see you as some sort of a beacon of light for them. But it is overwhelming for you. I'm sure you know this emotionally. You do have an emotional connection with somebody that you're concerned about, insofar as they're asking you to sacrifice a lot, I think, and that's overwhelming for you. The Seven of Cups is kind of, them expecting to kind of just come back into your life, and you drop everything to tend to their emotional needs or be the shoulder to cry on, in a sense. So that's a tricky situation by the looks of things, the person from the past that is overwhelming you emotionally right now. It seems like at one point in your life you were very much on the same page, and you're kind of just, I guess, going through the motions of the healing journey at a different pace to them. The Seven of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the King of Cups, April looks like a busy, inspired, motivated month. Very powerful. If any of you are in the kind of legal profession, or like kind of the boss, the doctor, the kind of head of a charity, even I'm sensing. This looks like it's a very like a focal month for those kind of careers in particular. I'll have a look at the Justice card. Yeah, legal kind of issues. Anything to do with like agreements, contracts, if that's your line of work. That could be coming through in a more motivated way this month, and more inspiration around this. But let's have a look. And Aquarius, while I have you, if you're watching here on YouTube and you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. That would be great. Thank you. And let's look at these cards now together to see what we're pulling out. Gotta keep that one. The Page of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. That's very nice energy. Very helpful and very therapeutic even, very problem solving, very like making amends, a nice flow there. The communication is really good. Communication at work is really good. Vocalizing that you deserve some sort of an advancement, like please look at all this hard work I've been doing. I'm so skilled, I'm such a good craftsman, like this person here, but you're like an integral piece of the puzzle, and you know that. And if you're trying to gain favor at work, the King of Cups could be the fond kind of superior looking at you, and Page of Cups with a nice message of you're doing a great job, we would like to show our appreciation by offering you this or repaying you in some sense for this. It looks like there's a good conversation that happens between a older figure in your life. It doesn't have to be an age, but it seems it's like in some way you look up to this person or they take you under your wing. It is protective and nurturing. There's almost like emotion involved here, and there's like almost like, dare I say, it could be family, like father figure, uncle figure, parent figure, or like this kind of protege energy, like the student and the teacher, and the fondness of the relationship like that. But it does seem like you can ask and vocalize more for what you want in work and any team that you're a part of, any society, any networking group. You're integral there, the Three of Pentacles. It says that work in April is inspiring, motivating. You are like putting in the extra hours, and it's no bother to you because you're being recognized, validated, appreciated. So if there is anything that you want to ask for the Page of Cups is a communicator, and usually quite a good one in how they get their message across. There may be one person in particular you can turn to. This could be a good month to do it, and especially since you have so many bright ideas to share, the Ace of Wands, this could really come through in a positive way around your career, your business, where you work, where you study, sharing these ideas, vocalizing these ideas. There's definitely somebody here that really wants to listen. Okay, let's have a look at the end of the month. We've got a couple of major arcana cards here too. We've got the Three of Wands, the Sun card in reverse, and the High Priestess. So this would tell me that plans are set, the plans are in motion at the moment, and they're almost like a sure thing at this point, but there's something about it that's unfulfilled or you're just not fully happy with, and maybe that's why you're keeping things a little more private or to yourself. The Fool card jumping out, your Uranian energy. So we've got Uranus transiting through the sign of Taurus now. So Aquarius, if you're somebody with an Aquarius sun at around, let's say 11 to 16, 17 degrees of Taurus or of Aquarius, right there in the middle, you may be feeling the nature of the Uranus square sun as a kind of like liberating transit, like forcing you to express yourself more authentically recently. And if that's the case, I guess like hiding who you are just isn't really going to cut it at the moment. That's also applicable, I guess, if you're a an Aquarius, Aquarius rising or Aquarius moon. I'm a Libra rising. I think that's what was in my head. Let's have a look at these cards for you now. So the energy of, the Sun card in reverse. Maybe you have been ignoring the person that you are growing into, ignoring the person that you used to be. It's all part of us. And every day is going to be different. And you can, I think that this is kind of like expressing the authentic you, even if it shocks people. That could be what's coming through this month. And maybe you're just hesitant to do that. You know, it is kind of shocking. The Queen of Rods, another beautiful energy with the sunflower on that card too. And the Ace of Cups. Well, that is just stunning energy. So for some of you, you're making plans, and it does seem like these are things that, you know, not everyone seems to be entirely on board with the plan, but you know what? You're very much focused on your own happiness, your own fulfillment, and the people that matter. The Queen of Rods is like, it's a force to be reckoned with, quite honestly. Like, this is the person that can manage anything that's thrown at them. This is the kind of person that is the magic maker in the deck. With the High Priestess, this is really like, they can make magic. They can very much easily trust in every step of every waking moment, very in alignment to their inner voice and inner calling, never steering too far away from that, with the confidence and energy to do it, and very inspiring. You look like you're really inspiring others. There is like cards of leadership here, leading from the heart. I think that the end of April going into May looks very expansive for you. You trust in yourself, you know you're in alignment, like it's actually very abundant, this energy. If you're single, you're looking good, so I would get yourself out there. The Ace of Cups can suggest somebody, you know, if you're dating. If you have a Scorpio rising, you're going to be having a beautiful transit of Venus through your 5th house of dating. So any Aquarius is out there with a Scorpio rising, that's good for dating. Similarly, if you have a, let's see where else you could be having this. Yes, I guess a Taurus rising. No, that ain't right. Give me just a second. If you, this dating scene, I'm kind of getting mixed up here now, but let me just see if you have a Virgo rising. If you have a Virgo rising, you also have Venus transiting through your 7th house of business partnerships, marriages, and committed relationships. So extra flow and harmony there. Any rising, any sign, this is the energy of getting yourself out there because you're looking good and connections are wanting to come to you. It doesn't have to be romantic. You could be making new friends. You could be forming valuable alliances by the end of the month. The connection is there. It's all pure in your heart, and you're just really stepping up to the plate in a bigger way towards the end of the month. That's really nice energy. I love this Sun card, aliveness. There could be, because there's 2 people here in the reversal and there's only 1 person here in this sunflower card. It might be that you just have to let somebody down gently about that. They won't be coming on board with you any further. Their role here is done. If you have staff, this could look like disappointing somebody by letting them go, but it's something that you can kind of handle yourself, or you just don't need it. So there could be a little bit of the keeping things quiet at the moment, Aquarius, because you are maybe going to have to make some plans that not everybody's going to be happy with, but it is what it is. That's beautiful energy towards the end of the month. It does seem like, you know, something new is breaking through, and maybe you do have to say goodbye to some people. It does seem like there once was a lot of satisfaction and happiness there, but as you kind of are expanding your horizons, it just doesn't make sense for the past or the way it's always been done to continue in that way. Have a wonderful month ahead, and I'll see you soon.